Last year, I cheated on my ex-girlfriend of 8 years, Annie, with a colleague, Jess, who I now have a 3-week-old son with. I have no excuse. It cost me my job and the majority of my friendships, along with the love of a good woman. I deserved it all, and I have never expected any sympathy for my actions. Annie delivered my stuff to my parents' house before I even knew she knew about the cheating. She didn't even confront me. She just cut me out of her life without a word. I messaged everyone we knew begging them to ask her to talk to me, and I sent hundreds of messages telling her how much I regretted everything and wanted her back. I never got a response. Jess saw the messages, and it obviously caused issues between us in the beginning, but she fell pregnant quickly, so we moved past it for the sake of our family together, which we both wanted. I am 100% committed to the relationship, and haven't even looked at another woman since things settled down. In the final stretch of Jess' pregnancy, about a month ago, I saw Annie in a shop for the first time since the breakup. She was pretty cold towards me, but said that a few months ago, she found a keychain my granddad got me when I was very young. It's not valuable, but she knows it means a lot to me, and she said I could come collect it the following Saturday morning. I explained that was 6 days after Jess was due to give birth, so I probably need to be home, but she just said I could either get it on Saturday or it was going in the bin. So I agreed a time to go over. My son was born a few days late, but is perfectly healthy and wonderful, so he was less than 24 hours old on the Saturday I needed to collect the keychain. I planned to pop in on the way to the hospital, but when I got to my old house, Annie invited me in to talk about how things ended between us. I thought we had a good conversation, and that both of us walked away with closure. She let me apologize for the way I treated her, wished me the best with my new family, and hugged me as I left. I admit I held on tightly for the hug, but it was purely because of the relief, not lingering feelings. I spent less than an hour at her house, then headed to the hospital. I didn't tell Jess about any of this because I know she still feels insecure about Annie, and I didn't want to add fuel to that. When I arrived at the hospital after seeing Annie, Jess had revoked my access, and the ward manager wouldn't tell me why. I ended up being removed by a security guard because I was denied seeing my son for the second time ever and didn't respond well to being blindsided. I tried calling Jess and her mum over and over, and the only response I got was a screen recording of a message from Annie. It was doorbell footage of me walking through the door at 9:30, then back out just after 10:15, and the hug is only partly caught, so it does look like we could have been kissing. The message Annie sent with it said, "Did he even shower and change his clothes between fucking me and holding his son? Congratulations on being stuck with him for the next 18 years. I hope it's everything you dreamed of." No one believes this is a setup at all. It's something I would never have expected from Annie, and no one else would either, so they are completely rejecting the idea that this is a lie. I sent her a message asking why she did this, assuming I'd still be blocked. Her response was that she wasn't going to let me play innocent, and that I may have deleted all of our messages over the past few months. But she hasn't. Obviously, there are no messages, but she blocked me again straight after, so I have nothing at all to exonerate myself with. She waited in silence for almost a year, then took the most cruel and vindictive revenge she possibly could. I have met my son once, minutes after he was born, and now Jess is refusing any contact with me and won't let me see him. Court will take months, and my heart hurts every minute of every day. I know what I did to Annie was horrible, but I don't deserve this. I have no one to talk to about it, because not even my own mother believes me. Her only question was why I ruined my life with a baby when Annie was willing to reconcile, and that's about the most supportive thing she's said to me since I was dumped. The few friends who stuck with me are assuming the worst too, and it's killing me that not a single person I know sees it for what it is. I was in a grocery store when I saw Annie for the first time since the breakup. My heart almost stopped. She looked right through me, cold, distant. But then she told me something strange. She said she'd found an old keychain my grandfather had given me when I was a kid. It wasn't worth much money, but it meant everything to me. Annie knew that. She said I could come pick it up, but only on one specific Saturday morning. Here's the kicker. That was 6 days after Jess's due date. I told Annie I'd probably need to be at the hospital, but she just shrugged and said, "Either pick it up then, or it goes in the trash." And like an idiot, I agreed. My son was born a few days late, less than 24 hours old on the Saturday Annie had set. I told myself I'd swing by quickly, grab the keychain, and then go to the hospital. No big deal. But when I arrived, Annie invited me in, and she started talking. About us. about the past, about how things ended. I thought, finally, closure. She let me apologize, wished me luck with my new family, and when I left, she hugged me. And yeah, I held on tight. Not because I wanted her back, but because, for the first time in a year, I felt relief, like a weight had lifted. I spent less than an hour at her place before heading straight to the hospital to see my newborn son. But when I got there, everything exploded. The nurses told me I wasn't allowed in. Jess had revoked my access. I begged for an explanation, but no one would give me one. Then security came. Security. And they dragged me out of the hospital like I was some kind of threat. I called Jess. I called her mom. Over and over. Nothing. Until finally, I got a single message back. It was a screen recording of Annie's doorbell camera footage. Me, walking in at 9:30, leaving just after 10:15. The hug, caught at just the wrong angle, looked like a kiss. Attached was Annie's message to Jess. Did he even shower and change his clothes between asterisking me and holding his son? Congratulations on being stuck with him for the next 18 years. I hope it's everything you dreamed of. Asterisk. My blood went cold. My stomach dropped. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. Annie had waited nearly a year. She lulled me into her house, pretended to want closure, all to deliver the most vicious, time-to-perfection revenge. Jess believed her. Everyone believed her. Even my own mother looked at me with disgust and said, "Why would you ruin your life with a baby when Annie was ready to reconcile?" And just like that, I lost everything. My relationship, my friends, my family's trust, my chance to be there for my son. But here's the thing about people like Annie. They get cocky. They think they've tied up every loose end. She hadn't. I remembered something from that day at her house. When I arrived, Annie's phone was face up on the counter. The screen lit up more than once, messages from some guy named Mark. She kept flipping it over, like she didn't want me to notice. At first, I ignored it, but after she torched my life, I started digging. It took weeks. Careful messages, screenshots, poking around on social media where Annie thought I couldn't see. And what I found was gold. Mark wasn't just some guy. He was married, with kids. And Annie, she'd been carrying on an affair with him for months. I didn't rush. I collected everything. Texts, photos, dates. I even got screenshots of hotel bookings. Piece by piece, I built the case. Then, with shaking hands, I sent it all to Mark's wife. The fallout was nuclear. Mark's wife went scorched earth. Divorce papers, custody battle. She even messaged Annie directly, tearing into her with words so sharp they made even me wince. And Annie? The mask slipped. Suddenly, she wasn't the calm, cold, calculating woman who had destroyed me. She was desperate, panicked, because the man she'd been clinging to, the one she thought would validate her little revenge crusade, was gone. Her reputation, shattered. Her social circle, turned on her. And me? I may have lost a lot, but I gained something priceless. Proof. Proof that Annie was a liar, a manipulator, and a homewrecker. Proof that I could take to court when I fight for custody of my son. She thought she could bury me. Instead,